Yeah, I still remember there was an orange C8 that would not get out of my way.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sub 2 Club channel. Today we have Derrick.
Hello.
Yeah, and we have a very, very rare BMW 850 here with us. Yeah, before we get into this car, tell me how you got into motorsport scene.
Yeah. Well, I've always liked cars as long as I can remember. But yeah, in like high school, I kind of started watching those best motoring videos.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of that was like drifting.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of caught my attention. So when I got my first car, I wanted it to be rear-wheel drive and I wanted it to be manual. And there was like a 200,000 mile SC300 in my area, and that fit the bill. So I kind of got into drifting, and I've been drifting ever since.
Cool, cool. Did you have some kind of swap?
For that SC?
Yeah.
No, it was just 2JNA,
Okay.
5-speed W58, and low power, heavy car, and it taught me a lot about how to drive, you know.
And it's one of the better looking cars out there, I feel.
I think so. With the, I had a Vertex kit on there.
Oh, nice.
It looked good, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful car. So, so you've been drifting for a while, I assume.
Yeah.
How long have you been drifting?
So, it's like senior year, like 2010.
2010, okay.
Yeah.
So 12 years. Good,
Yeah.
Good 12 years, wow. Like, what did you get out of drifting?
I think it teaches you a lot about moving the weight around, like braking, acceleration, and especially with things like being smooth and momentum as well. To keep a car sliding with low power, you have to have commitment. You have to go in quick and kind of hold that momentum through.
Right.
So, I don't know, it teaches you a lot about just car feel in general.
Yeah.
Like a good drifter that can drift like a low power car, I think you put them in like a more developed chassis and whatever, they can just kind of step into that chassis pretty easily.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So then after drifting, you tracked it, right? And then you got a sub 2 lap at Buttonwillow.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you end up in, track day?
I always kind of wanted to do, an HPDE event, and I kind of reconnected with one of my friends from college.
Okay.
And he tracks regularly. He had an S2000 and he recently bought an NC Miata.
Nice.
And yeah, I was just kind of chatting with him and I was like, what if I brought the Supra there? And he was like, do it. And then, yeah, we're just like, all right, let's do it. And then threw some sticky tires on, and it was my third HPDE event ever. Yeah. So, I mean, everything else was drifting. And then, yeah, the third event I sub-2'd, and the first one I took the Porsche.
What did you notice when you went from drifting to HPDE?
Braking. Braking is something that actually you don't learn that much about in drifting, like threshold braking and like
braking
really.
Is throttle.
Yeah, exactly. Like braking's not good when you're drifting. You want to get off the brakes as much as you can. But yeah, the kind of sensation, because this car makes a decent amount of power, so coming down the straight it's like doing 115, something like that.
Yeah.
So the sensation of going from fifth to third gear hard on the brakes all the way down, like downshifting. I don't do that too much in drifting, so that was kind of a learning curve.
Okay.
And then also dealing with traffic, like kind of having the skill set to see when, like make note of which cars are faster on the track so that you don't have to give them as much of a gap or like get the slow ones out of the way and kind of like give yourself one clean lap,
Yeah.
Because busy track days, it's tough to kind of give yourself that space.
Yeah, totally. And as far as I mean, finding limits on a track day versus drifting, I would assume it was pretty easy for you.
The limits of the car?
Limits of the car, the tires, the steering, yeah, the whole nine.
Yeah, it wasn't too difficult. Like for most of drifting, we kind of use Chinese tires, like cheap Chinese tires, especially when we're not competing. So when we step up to, I think I was using like the Nankang CRS in the front, the level of grip is so different. So yeah, it does take a little bit to get used to how different your car feels when it has that much traction. But yeah, once you break traction, it all kind of feels the same.
What was your biggest takeaway from the whole event? That drifting is more fun?
Well, yeah,
No, it
I
doesn't
do
matter.
enjoy drifting more, yeah. But I don't know, it's kind of cool. The car community is pretty small. Like even out there, there's like people you know, and it's always nice to see new people. And yeah, it's just a good time.
Okay.
Drifting, tracking, grip, like
Okay.
it's kind of the same kind of vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, with HPDE, like the more serious guys, they're out there to chase a number.
Yeah.
And then at the track events that I go to for drifting, everyone's like trying to have fun, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and like tandem drifting, it's kind of cool because it's like a collective event. Like you get out of the car and it's like you did that with someone, and like it's like a team kind of feeling,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Whereas in the track day, it's just like everyone get out of my way, you know?
Exactly. And you remember the car that doesn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I still remember there was an orange C8 that would not get out of my way.
So orange C8, if you're watching next time, please move. Yeah. And do you have a dream car?
Yeah, well right now, it'd be really cool, I think, a 992 GT3 Touring.
Okay.
I'm kind of on board the whole Porsche wagon right now. Yeah, they're nice
Who
cars
isn't?
to drive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Porsches are really cool because they're like lighter, and I kind of like the driving dynamics. They feel more mechanical and stuff, and I don't think a lot of the newer cars give that vibe off. So
Okay. You're in the industry, and could you tell me a little bit about that?
yeah, so me and my business partner Dane, we own a company called DND Performance Interior.
Is that what it is? Derrick and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you
Now-
figured it
now
out.
You know, yeah.
We don't tell anyone that, but yeah, you figured it out.
100 people know.
But yeah, I kind of got that going with him right when I graduated college, around that time. And lucky for me, because that was kind of like our first attempt and it happened to work out.
Yeah.
But yeah, really grateful because that's kind of allowed me to stay within the automotive community, and a lot of cool experiences came out of that, and being able to fund like a 2JZ, like drift car. And you know, this hobby isn't cheap.
Right.
Yeah, D&D is what we do, and that's like the interior stuff you're going to see inside the car. And you know, we focus on just kind of budget performance stuff that is good enough for the track, and you know, I've used it all these years.
Yeah, and it's good that you actually test it out, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, you're not some guy in factory, you know, making random stuff that sells.
Right.
You're actually making stuff that you want to use, and you're testing it out. So appreciate that. We need more people like you in the industry, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's an 850 with 2J. No, it's a 1990 Toyota Supra. It's the Mark III generation, and it has an Aristo 2JZ,
Nice.
and it's running on E85. Making about 530 horsepower was the last tune,
Nice.
so pretty conservative, but this is a drift car, so I want it to last. Suspension-wise, it's on field coilovers.
Okay, let's stop you real quick.
Okay.
What kind of transmission?
It's a R154
Oh, okay.
with Martin Crawler internals.
Nice. They're pretty much bulletproof, right?
Yeah, they're pretty good. I blew one up already, but that's when the car was making around 650.
Gotcha.
And I was on grippier tires back then.
Got it.
But yeah, I have the OS Geiken twin plate there, and that's supposed to help make the transmission last a little bit longer.
Big brakes.
Yeah.
What kind of brakes are these?
This is from a company called Seika. They're, I believe, a Taiwanese company.
Okay.
And they were one of the companies that offered a big brake kit for this car, and they gave me kind of a promotional price because I wanted to try it and do some drifting and some time attack with them, and so far they've been really good.
Nice.
A lot of stopping power.
Are you using the pads that came with the kit?
Yeah, they on their kit they kind of choose like what pad temp you'd like, or like what kind of compound. I don't know the specifics of it, but I chose like the race compound.
Nice.
And it doesn't really even squeal that much, so.
Cool. Then you got the Advan. Was those
RG3s.
RD or RG, right?
RG3s,
RG3s. That's the newest one, right? Or one of the newer
RG4s they just came
Oh,
out with.
okay. All right.
They have a little bit like a more angular spoke profile.
Cool.
I have a pair of those on the way too.
Nice.
I've always loved these wheels.
And C91, wow, it's TD, right?
Yeah, I don't actually run these tires.
Uh-huh.
When I bought the wheels, they came with these tires, so.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's badass setup. And then brakes on the rears are stock, right?
Stock tech pads.
Nice. I mean, I'm guessing this is a pretty heavy car. How much does it weigh?
I believe from factory it's about 3,400, 3,500.
That's heavy.
Yeah, the target tops have more bracing under the chassis.
Got it.
And then I don't have anything cut out from this car. It is a drift car, but I don't have like a tube front or a tube rear or anything. So I'm guessing with the cage in, and then I took the carpets out, but still probably like 3,500, 3,600 pounds. Yeah.
And you have no problem with the braking?
With the what?
You had no problem braking?
No, yeah.
At the track?
At the track, I think I was struggling more with staying in the operating temperature window of the tires themselves.
I see.
I think I would get like one good lap and then temp would start to fall off.
Gotcha.
Times would start to fall off.
Such a good looking car.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm actually in the process of getting it repainted.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and doing some bodywork stuff to fix all the cracks and dents and stuff. But
same color?
it's gonna be, I think, like a candy maroon color, like a sparkly maroon color.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. So you were saying that's one thing you changed before going?
Yeah. So when I'm drifting, I'll run zero camber in the rear and a little bit of toe in. And then for my button wheeler day, I just told him to add about 3 degrees of rear camber.
Okay.
And that's, oh, and I took out some camber from the front.
Okay.
And yeah, put some sticky tires on it. Went to the track.
And that was good. That was good enough for sub 2.
I guess so.
Tell me about the exterior of the car.
Yeah, so those are Caminari side skirts.
Okay.
They're pretty rare, I'd say. I don't think too many people get them, although there's a few companies that are doing like fiberglass reproductions of them. And then that side splitter is actually for an FRS.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just kind of mocked it up and saw that it fit okay, so I just drilled them into the bottom.
Yeah, that's the drifter spirit.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. And everything else is Shine Auto.
Okay.
That's front over fenders, these rear add-ons. That's a 326 power wing. A lot of drifters have those too.
I used to have one on the coupe.
Exactly,
Yeah.
you're a 240 guy,
Yeah.
so you know what's up. Yeah.
The Shine Auto fender.
Yeah,
huh?
Shine Auto front fenders. Those are 50 fronts. Yeah, it has the whole front knuckles cut and extended lower arms and stuff. So. Yeah.
All right, cool. Do you mind showing us the engine?
Yeah, no, not at all. Pop the hood.
Pop the hood? Pop the hood.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the 2JZ, right?
Risto 2JZ, stock block, stock head. And once you put E85 to it and a big turbo, it's good for 650 horsepower.
It's so simple, right?
Yeah, it's so easy, reliable. And Kaizen, Jose over at Kaizen, you know him too. He's got the formula down for this kind of thing, like cast log manifold, comp turbo, E85, 1000cc injectors, and boom, you're making 600 horsepower.
It's a pretty decent size turbo. What size is that?
That's a 6260, which
Oh,
honestly isn't that big.
Huh? It looks big.
I think it's a 6260. I went with the smaller turbo just because I wanted response.
Yeah.
And I knew this time over, I went through a 2J already. This is actually my second 2J.
Okay.
This time I just kind of wanted a safer, kind of conservative build. I'm not running as much boost. And yeah, so I went with a smaller turbo. And the boost comes on pretty early, like 3,500. Peaks around 5,000, 55, and it makes power all the way to red line.
Good. And I'm assuming Bo tuned it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bo's a wizard, and he's also helped me a lot with the kind of the electronic side of things. And he actually lives 5 minutes away from me. So
oh, nice.
It's really convenient. Yeah, whenever I have problems, I just hit him up like, Bo, please help. Still running drive-by-wire.
Okay. Stock manifold.
Yeah. Tomei fuel pressure regulator, HKS fuel rail.
What size injectors?
1000.
1000.
ID 1000.
Yeah. And I see a lot of AEM sensors.
Yeah, well, AEM electronic suite,
Are you running Infinity?
Infinity 6.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty much a street car. Like I don't have any frame or chassis modifications.
Right. It's clean. Simple.
Very simple.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible mechanic, so the less it breaks down, the better.
Yeah. What kind of shocks?
Feel.
Feel.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got feel coilovers, and then there's a company in New Zealand, Agile Performance,
Uh-huh.
and that guy, he has a Mark III Supra.
Okay.
It's kind of tough to find good aftermarket support for Mark III Supras, like Mark IVs or what everyone likes.
Yeah.
But I've been I managed to get all the arms I need, the front lower control arms and the rear arms and stuff, so I can get the alignment spec I want, and the car does what I want it to do. So
And this is a double wishbone car, right?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moving into the interior. You mind if I open the door?
Yeah, go ahead.
Certain magic to it.
Yeah, these car handles.
So you got a 6-point cage.
Yep. This cage was built kind of to Formula D Pro 2 specs.
Mhm.
Pro 1 specs, or 2016 Pro specs anymore. So that's why it has like the double door bars.
Yeah. Cool.
And then everything else is our company DND, the hub, quick release,
Yeah.
hydro e-brake, shift knob, steering wheel.
Nice. And the fire extinguisher up top. Like the seat. Nice. And could you open the trunk?
Yeah.
Oh, signal
Yeah.
sticker. That's old school.
I actually studied abroad in Osaka.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I got to know the owners, and they were right next to Osaka University.
Nice.
So.
It's pretty simple in here too.
Yep.
Just a relay for the fuel pumps.
Yep.
So simple.
Yeah. I think that's kind of been the whole theme of the car, just keeping it as simple as I can.
Good. What kind of exhaust are you running?
It is all just muffler shop stuff.
You're a full drifter, aren't
Yeah, there's nothing special down there. The subframe's reinforced and it has powered by Max solid subframe mounts.
you? Uh-huh.
And they're actually subframe spacers. I think they push the subframe up half an inch or a quarter inch or something like that. Just corrects a little bit of the rear geometry.
Right.
Yeah, everything else is super simple. 3-inch all the way back.
What kind of rear end?
It has the factory Supra turbo rear end. And then there's this company in NorCal, DND Performance. They make shim kits.
Yeah.
So this one has their Max Grip shim kit.
Driving this car, what was the most challenging thing? Not drifting, but track racing, track driving.
So yeah, like we said, it is kind of a heavier car. And the wheels that I have, they're kind of aggressive. So I couldn't get too much tire under the car. I think I was running a 255 in the front and a 265 in the rear the day of.
Yeah.
And so I only had maybe like one lap before I felt like the tires were kind of dropping off in terms of temperature. So yeah, it was just out lap, warm them up. I get one good lap in, and then I got nothing left really in terms of tire. So I think that was the most challenging thing. And then also that rear end is pretty grabby, so it's not great for turn-in when you have like almost kind of like a welded full locking rear end.
Yeah.
So turn-in was a little understeery, and then once you get on the power, it kind of wants to step out, just the way the suspension is. So.
Sounds like my car.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you get it.
But yeah. I don't remember ever seeing a Mark III Supra at a track.
I don't think so either. I think when I subbed 2, Jose was posting everywhere like fastest Mark III at Buttonwillow. And I was like, well, I don't think there was even any other Mark IIIs at Buttonwillow. So.
And inside you have a beautiful car. What is this?
This is a 997. It's a .1. The previous owner did all the GT3 Aero stuff.
Okay.
And I just really wanted a white 997. And so this one came around and I just kind of made an emotional purchase. I saw it and I really wanted it. But this is actually just the base C2.
Okay.
I got it, I put the suspension, the wheels and stuff on it. And yeah, it's my weekend car. I try not to drive it too much, but I did take it to streets and it was a lot of fun.
How did it do?
I think I was doing like a 128 or 127 or something like that.
Like, but as far as driving goes, how, like, compared to your Supra?
Oh yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah.
It actually understeers a lot. I don't know if that's just because I haven't done any front suspension mods. I hear they need a little bit more front negative camber to get rid of that. But it has like crazy amounts of rear grip because it's like a 2,600 pound car and it has a 305 tire in the rear. Yeah, it just, you get on it and you can get on it so early in the middle of the corner.
Right.
But high speed, if you lift, it has a tendency to feel a little floaty, a little scary. But yeah, and the flat six is great. It's just the base model, but it feels like it has plenty of power to have fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure. Previous owner did it.
Sounds beautiful. And final question for you is, what things about life do you learn through cars?
That's a good question too. I think patience is one of those things. It comes with, like, especially when you build some of these cars, the people that are good at powertrain or wiring or tuning, they don't always work on your schedule. And you might be really excited, or you might have, you know, the energy that you want to do something to your car, but you kind of have to wait and go through the process. You know, your car might be sitting at someone's shop for 6 months, or the guy tuning your car might not be available for 2 or 3 months. And like, as bad as you want it, it's still a nice payoff at the end when you get it done and the car's running and you're driving it. And you know, patience, trade-off, and teaches you to fix stuff too.
For sure. Yeah. Do you work on your cars?
I used to. I don't do it as much. There are people that are way better at it than I am. And I find myself, like, when I'm stuck on just getting a nut off a bolt or something, I get really pissed off and I just, like, I'm gonna sell everything. I don't want to drive cars anymore, you know? So I think I can stay in the hobby and enjoy it longer if I don't work on my own cars.
Any shout outs?
DND Performance Interior, Summit Off-Road, Kaizen, doing all the powertrain stuff on this car. It's helped me out over the years. Yeah, that's about it. I'm sure there's people I'm forgetting that have helped me, but that's off the top of the head right now what I can think of.
Well, thank you for showing your beautiful cars today. Of course. And I hope to see more of you in the future, especially at the track. Or maybe I'll see you at the drift event.
Yeah, you said you might drift the 240, so that'll be fun. I'll do an interview of you. What does drifting your 240 mean?
All right, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.